My name's Adam Hoare. I'm Managing Director of Red Embedded Systems Limited, and we provide the vConnect service. One of the things that's kind of implied in the POTE model, the Practice, Outcomes, Technology and Evidence model, is that because the technology needs to support the evidence base, and the evidence base needs to prove that the outcomes are being delivered, actually beginning to get the platforms to evidence their own usage is a key component in having this evolutionary approach to evolve in practice with technology. So you actually need to make the platform a player in the evidence generation. And that was another aspect of the project that was key, is to build into the platform some capabilities around evidencing the way it was being used. Now this is quite a departure for this kind of communication platform, because usually with video and with many forms of communication, the actual usage of the platform is unknown. The actual technology is agnostic to the use case. And that's because of the way that communications have developed. So we'd for a while recognised that the technology could be used to provide colleague interactions, that's professional to professional, care interactions, which is professional to the person at home, and companion type interactions, which is people supporting each other, be that family members or third sector organisations supporting people. So we'd already got a set of ideas around colleague care and companion interactions on the platform, with the ability to do call transfers, call queuing, multi-way calls. You introduce a whole new set of ways that the technology can be used, and recognising the value of some of those calls is really, really important. We call those calls hybrid calls. So they're another category beyond care, colleague and companion. So for instance, there were calls that were being used to almost coordinate the outcomes of multidisciplinary team meetings amongst clinicians and report that back to the day service staff around certain people's needs and what the follow-up should be. Well, that's a really interesting use of the technology, and it actually emerged from the project. And it shows that the video technology can be used to make people feel that they are partaking in a, almost like they're in the same room kind of discussion. But recognising the value of that is actually quite difficult. So we introduced call annotation as part of the project in order to capture some of these emergent ways of using the technology. You're generating evidence automatically that later down the road, through the health and well-being measurements, you can characterise potentially the outcomes from that interaction. These are complex interactions, these are complex people with complex sets of circumstances, but actually if you're going to take a person-centred view, it's exactly this kind of evidence generation and the longitudinal monitoring that will start to yield understanding of what the impact of these kinds of technologies are down the road. We also undertook socio-technical reviews, which are similar to the service reviews in that they look at the use of the technology, but more from the point of view about the people interacting with the technology, what they felt it did for them, where they felt the barriers were in using the technology. So really this is the missing component in many technology projects, in actually asking people what they think about the user interfaces, what they think about the way that the technology works, and asking the questions about where it could be improved. So a really important part of the feedback. We had another strand of evidence generation around social impact. And this is an up-and-coming area of impact measurement, linked to the Social Value Act of 2013, where it recognises the value of some less tangible things like dignity, confidence and independence. And through comparative studies of different implementations of services, tries to come to an economic value for some of these less tangible outcomes. And engaging with that through Social Value UK, it's enabled us to understand how we might value this in the future. And a key part of the argument for commissioners is around both the health impacts and the social care impacts, but really the social impact itself is going to be a key feature in generating evidence about the value of this to the people and their family members.